This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Before we get started, maybe we should address this leak in the room.
I know.
Or should I say in both of your eyes?
Yes.
How is this possible?
I don't understand. I've had a leaky eye on and off for a long time now. You have a leaky eye.
I have a leaky eye coming out of the side of this one, and it's cutting raw, so I can understand that pain you're feeling.
What's crazy to me, though, is you get triggered when you see me with this.
Absolutely.
She goes, oh, my God. I can hear her whispering.
Oh,
to people.
yeah.
I can't stand Sam tending to her eye.
Yeah.
Now you're tending to your eye.
I have to tend. You know what that's called? Karma.
All right, so I hope my mom is still watching. She might even shut it off. I don't even know if she's watching anymore. But let's get to it, guys. Rachel McAdams is getting real about her body. She's got a leaky eye. I'm just kidding. The actress is on the cover of Bustle magazine, and at the time, she had just given birth to her second child and was still breastfeeding. She also requested that the photos be edited as little as possible, including keeping her underarm hair front and center. In the article, Rachel revealed she turned down some high-profile movies in the early 2000s like Devil Wears Prada, Mission Impossible 3, Iron Man, and Casino Royale. She said she took a 2-year break from Hollywood in order to, quote, stay sane, but felt guilty she was throwing her career away. I get that. I think we all kind of relate to that. Let's talk about the armpit hair, right? What else do you guys want to talk about?
What do you feel about that?
It's terrible. It's really a turnoff to me. I don't like it at all. And before everyone jumps on me and you guys out there, I know it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't need assurance. When I had a mustache for 2 weeks, the comments lit up, my DMs lit up. That's gross. Shave it off. That's disgusting. What does your wife think? But I'm not allowed to make a comment about what I like?
You have every right to make a preference, right? That's your preference. I prefer that my husband has certain facial hair, but just like a little bit, not a lot, so I get that.
Scruff.
Totally okay. A little bit of scruff. As far as Rachel McAdams, I read the article and it's beautiful because she even addresses that. She goes, beauty comes in all different shapes and sizes, or beauty is a preference. This is what I like. And I want to show the world what is beautiful to me. So she even gives you a little bit of accolade to just be who you are. And that's who she is. And I applaud her for that.
I mean, what really struck me more than the underarm hair was just the movie she turned down.
Me too.
I mean, I don't think
You guys aren't jumping on this wagon? No one's going to say anything? We're going to talk about how lovely she is?
Really quickly, with the underarm hair, I looked at that.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Keep going.
I do have a comment about that. With the underarm hair, I feel like that was her way of telling the world, like, I don't care what your beauty standards are anymore. I've gone through postpartum. I have a child. I've made decisions for my mental health in terms of turning down incredibly lucrative movies because I'm prioritizing myself. And part of that, I guess, and we've seen this with male sex symbols that have kind of gone through this, and obviously female sex symbols, there's a point where if you lose yourself in that, it can be catastrophic going forward. We've seen people gain a lot of weight, after obviously Brendan Fraser comes to mind. I think it's her way of saying, I don't care what you think anymore. I've had people looking at me and gawking at me and telling me I'm too big or too little or need to be blonde for this role. And I think it's her way of saying, like, the way she was laying on that couch was like, I give 0.
Yeah.
That's what I took from that.
I also saw that there's other famous ladies that have done this. Ladies, that was weird. But you remember Julia Roberts. I think we have a picture. Was at the Oscars, I believe, with this. So there's also Emily Ratajkowski, who has also been very open. Again, Europeans have a different take on body hair. I don't like armpit hair at all. I'm with you on this. I don't like it at all.
Tori. I appreciate that.
At all. But I also love the feminist choice to choose if you want to.
Yes.
Wow. Great answers. You guys really fantastic.
It's
You're
because
hired.
it's the Notting Hill premiere, not the Oscars.
Yeah, and I mean, it's obviously it's not my thing. It's not my thing. But
I thought we were going to have a little fun with that.
I honestly,
apparently not. I got shamed.
It got hairy.
Yeah, it got really hairy.
Bro, I think that's kind of the point. She is just like, I don't care anymore. I've shaved, I've trimmed, I've done all that stuff. I want you guys to be turned off if you are. I don't care. And it's like this really kind of freeing thing I'm looking for her. But personally,
yeah, but you
not
can't
my bag.
take that conversation when I'm having fun with it and then be like, she was going through postpartum and so, it's like, man.
I wanted to talk about her turning down those movies.
All right, whatever. We got a couple other shows. I'll agree with you guys in those. All right, so model Paulina regrets handing her finances over to her late husband. Paulina is featured in the money issue of She Knows magazine and said it was stupid of her to let her husband, singer Rick Ocasek.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's right.
I think it is.
Is it Ocasek or Kosak? Ocasek.
Ocasek.
See, I knew
Ocasek.
that.
Classic.
You son of a. All right, so Rick Ocasek.
So mad about it.
Manage all their finances. She said it's not that she didn't trust him, it was more like she just handing herself over to her husband saying, here, you take care of me. Paulina was 24 when she married Rick, who died at 45 in 2019 when they were going through a divorce, and days later, she learned she was completely cut out of the will. Ooh.
So I have a personal story, and I'm not going to name names, but someone in my family who is an accountant and like someone who knows numbers decided to leave it up to the husband. And after many years and finding horrific things about them, realized she had been tricked completely into her financial despair.
What do you mean
Gone.
tricked?
All of the accounts were going to him. He was forging things on her account, everything, and she knows numbers. Taxes were done incorrectly, and it was for years and years. And the one thing she said to me is, do not give up your financial freedom in your marriage.
Then
Do
you're
not.
trapped. You're trapped. Let's say you did not lose your husband, right? If you choose to leave that relationship and you know nothing about your finances, or your partner has been putting those finances elsewhere. I have two girlfriends, who had to hire a financial independent investigator during their divorce testimonies to find out where the money is. And both of them found out that they were left with nothing, and all the money that they were putting aside was gone.
And they were smart enough to do it, but they thought traditional roles, I think. I really do think it was more like, oh, like my I'm not going to say who, but that she's like, you'd think, oh, just hand it over. Absolutely not. Have a hand in knowing where your money's going.
Well, there's kind of this, like, you know, and it's romanticized, this blind trust that you're supposed to have when you enter into a marriage with somebody. And there are people that I think live by a certain code that will execute that. I feel like everybody on this panel, you guys are, I've talked to you guys every single day for 6 years in a row. I don't think any of you guys is even capable of cheating. Like, it's not in your DNA. But y'all ain't everybody. And there were periods of my time in my life where I wouldn't have stolen money because I wouldn't have even known how to do that. But I was financially irresponsible in a way where it's almost disrespectful to the word irresponsible. So throwing all your money behind your agent or our boss here, any human being is not a deity. They're just some dude. And maybe, unfortunately, you should look at your partner as just some dude that needs to be watched like everybody else. Ideally, it's not the thing,
well, Jeff,
but maybe that's it.
Yeah, and there's another layer to this, and I want to ask Jeff, because you are, in my opinion, from knowing you the past 6 years, you're really diligent and good with finances.
Tight.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say the majority of us are financially illiterate, unfortunately, in this country.
Absolutely.
We are not taught anything. I look at you and I'm like, wow, Jeff knows the stuff about taxes and stocks and all these different things. Even Bitcoin, before Bitcoin became, you know, blew up and now it's starting to rise again, whatever. You always knew. What was that? Was that instilled by your father? Was that
That's
instilled?
a good question.
How did you know? Because I
don't know about Bitcoin. I don't know a lot about that. My dad taught me a lot.
You told me one day you read your cell phone bill. And I almost went home and built an altar to you with candles around it. Like,
you read your cell phone bill?
Does that?
Well,
I wouldn't even
you know
think
what? Because
to do
when I
that.
was living in LA, I had nothing. You know what I mean? I had my parents to fall back on, but that wasn't an option for me. And so reading my cell phone was really like doing my due diligence and finding out where all my finances were.
Survival.
Yeah, quick story. One time I found out, and this was when I had no money, and I called, I forgot what company it was, it doesn't matter anyway. But I'm like, what are these bills? I want to know what this is. And they're like, this means this. What are these taxes? This means this. I go, what's other? I go, what's 10 cents other? And they're like, we don't know. And I go, you don't know? I go, you don't know what 10 cents other is? And they're like, no. I go, let me ask you something. How many customers do you have around the world? And they're like, oh, I don't know, a lot. And I go, who's getting that 10 cents? I go, take that 10 cents off my bill. Because I was so mad at that. And I'm like, I want 10 cents off my bill right now.
Good for you.
Were they like, it's gone, but don't tell the others?
Yeah, for real. Who's getting that money?
Wow.
I mean, I feel like we're getting scammed at every turn.
Nickel and
taking
dime.
money out of my bank account from credit card companies. I think it's more people. It's not even the money. It's people getting one over on me, and it boils my blood. Like I'm getting pestered.
It's a good thing. But like,
Instill that in your kids.
Yes.
Because we need more.
Instill the anger and
frustration.
Financial literacy
Jeff,
in
you
your
need to
kids.
change the narrative too, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to talk over you, about like when you said tight and it's like being called cheap and things like that. No, that's your money that you work for.
Tell that to my wife.
I wish I had for that. So shout out to you.
All right, let's get after it. It's commercial time. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Emily Hampshire, who played Stevie on Schitt's Creek. She's telling us all about her new graphic novel. And did you know Netflix still ships out DVDs, but that's coming to an end. That's next.
This show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point. But I'm gonna have a conversation about what's happening now. Thanks, buddy. Hey guys, we're talking about money, and I do want to just say something. Until 1973, women weren't even allowed to have checking accounts. So there's a reason women in particular were meant to be the homemakers and not know. I think that's important to realize. And so I might start taking, and I was going to tell you and you about it, all the women in my life, and Sam, about maybe taking like an investment class, like a 101. What does a traditional versus a Roth IRA? I'm a really educated person. I'm really bad at knowing anything about that, and it's a big flaw in my. It's a weakness. It's a weakness.
I don't know if it's a weakness. I think it's there.
It makes me feel uncomfortable.
But I think it's there for a reason. I think that there's a reason that nobody,
especially women,
that you know, but nobody, and it works both ways. Your example is so interesting because obviously you're looking at it from a female perspective. But if you and I are married and you don't even have a checking account, and you're looking at me as the financial god of the house, if I don't understand something, I'm not going to humble myself and say, I don't know, is this right?
Right.
So I think it also made men very vulnerable to, first of all, their egos, but also them just not wanting to admit that they don't know. Like, I mean, if you don't know anything in 2023, what you know in 1978?
Right.
And so I think
you could Google now.
Yeah, a lot of people got scammed and lost everything because of that. It's like this huge thing that no one talks about. Everybody wants to talk about relationship dynamics and how to have a good day after an argument, but like no one talks about like a lot of people you know that make a great living are going to die penniless.
Yeah, I know. And you think even like Aretha Franklin never had a will? Do you know how if you have a lot of money, just like Paulina she should have been, and not judging her, but you gotta have a hand in that. You gotta have a hand on your money, on your bag. And I can't secure your bag.
Welcome back. Who knew Netflix was still mailing out DVDs? I didn't. Well, that service is about to go away. Netflix started mailing out DVDs back in 1998, but the demand started to dwindle when it started streaming movies in 2007. By the end of September of this year, DVDs will no longer be available. Meantime, Netflix is trying to crack down on password sharing. Starting in June of this year, I should say, it will have an option where subscribers pay an extra fee to share their account. And we're doing a little research. It's not just like a couple bucks. It's like a lot.
Really?
I think it goes up to like $31 or something, don't quote me, to share with somebody.
Okay.
A month. That's a lot.
It is a lot. And I get that that's from Netflix, a capitalistic standpoint. But the culture of Netflix is sharing and streaming. HBO leans into it. They're like, we know your friends and neighbors are coming over, share it. It seems stingy to me to be like, even if you're traveling now, you have to pay.
Hippie commune. What do you mean sharing?
Seems stingy of a business to make money.
There's a culture of streaming, which is, you know, your ex from 3 years ago still has it. That's part of the fun of streaming in a way. And for it to be like, now you have to pay if you go to a hotel. Now you have to do it if you share. That seems so like bah humbug to me, in which their culture seems very relaxed and not like that. Am I wrong?
These guys are ready to pounce.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
So
you felt like me on the armpit here. I was like, dude, I'm leaving. I quit. Yeah.
No, it's a business.
Yes.
It's a business. This is capitalism.
Do you share your candles?
No, I do not share my. Well, actually, we do, and it probably hurts our bottom line, and it does hurt our bottom line, and that's why we're not Yankee candles. So if you want to be a successful business, you have to crack down on things like this. It's not fair to them. You're stealing from them, essentially. You are.
Right. But I think Netflix...
Even though I do it.
Right. Right. Like Netflix knows that's... And even the Twitter account on Netflix has a very funny take and has a witty sort of personality. So it just seems against the culture of the company.
Do any of you still have DVD? I know you still have CDs. Anybody of you, do you guys still have DVDs, VHS tapes? Me too.
I found...
You have a VHS tape?
I have a VHS.
I don't have a VHS player. I have all my VHS tapes.
Really?
You know, I'm looking at our stage manager, Taylor. She wouldn't even probably...
She doesn't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Taylor?
But I remember, do you remember when people in your neighborhood would get the dual VHS and dub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was super illegal.
Yeah.
But that was back before the internet,
It was
so there's no spell
$100,000
check.
fine. I remember.
Yeah.
When you read the warning?
My friends would sell them, but like there was no spell check. So like, I remember Jada Pinkett was in a movie and he just wrote Jane Puckett on it. It's like no one knew how to spell anything.
And there's no Google.
Yeah, the Renaissance is just gone.
You know what my dad leaned into? The Laserdisc era.
But never.
He went all in,
anywhere.
Sam.
The
He got
jumbo?
all
Yeah,
the stuff.
the
He
big-
goes, this will be it. We watched one DVD, Laserdisc. It was how to watch the Laserdisc.
And they were like this big,
Yeah,
weren't
it
they?
looked
Yeah,
like
they
you
were
could
jumbo.
sold a
Make it
million
do it.
albums.
You would just flip
Yeah.
it in the middle.
Do you want to know the top 10 Netflix rental of all time, the number one, real
wait.
quickly? We got to run.
Shawshank.
Throw one in.
Shawshank.
No, it's a series. I'll give you that.
Sopranos.
6 Feet Under.
Oh, I was going to say 6 Feet Under.
is
Swear
good.
to God.
Friends?
Friends.
No, Dexter. Then The Sopranos. Then True Blood, The Wire, 24, Mad Men, Weeds, Lost, 6
Not
Feet Under,
6 Feet
Game of Thrones.
6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
It was on there.
Okay.
Coming up on
I-
DBL, you know her as Stevie on Schitt's Creek. We're talking with Emily Hampshire all about what she's up to now.
There are nearly 4 million Americans who can trace their roots back to an Arab country in the Middle East or North Africa. School districts, cities, and states observe Arab American Heritage Month in April, but Google search data reveals that some are wondering whether the federal government officially designated April as Arab American Heritage Month. So let's verify. Is April officially designated as Arab American Heritage Month in the United States? Our sources are the White House, the Arab America Foundation, the Arab American Institute, Rashad Al-Dabagh, founder and executive director of the Arab American Civic Council in Anaheim, California, and the Congressional Research Service. It's true. On April 1st, 2022, President Biden became the first president to recognize April as Arab American Heritage Month in a commemorative letter. This year, on March 31st, he issued the first presidential proclamation to make it official. The movement for recognition first started in 1989 when Congress declared October 25th as a day to honor Arab American heritage. But Rashad Al-Dabagh, executive director of the Arab American Civic Council, said the Arab American community pressed for further recognition.
Because we are a community that is misunderstood, we are a community that is often discriminated against, and it's very important for us to have the federal government recognize us.
In 2017, media outlet Arab America and nonprofit Arab America Foundation launched an initiative that called on lawmakers to make April National Arab American Heritage Month. Arab America says April was chosen because it did not conflict with other observances that highlight minority communities, and the month symbolizes hope, growth, and new beginnings. With your Verify, I'm Natalie Haddad.
Welcome back. She stole our hearts as Stevie in the show Schitt's Creek, and now she's conjured up a totally original story about witches, reality TV, and finding your purpose in the graphic novel Amelia Earwood. Earlier, we spoke with Emily Hampshire. It was a delight. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show, Emily Hampshire.
Emily, thanks so much for being here. First off, we're all big Schitt's Creek fans up here, all of us. So it's hard to believe it's over because we still reference the show like it's new or it's still running. What's it like to be part of something that is so loved?
It's so funny when people are like upset that when we first ended, when it became popular, the show, we were already done. So yeah, I was like, it's harder on me that it's over. I don't have a job anymore. I lost all my friends.
I love that.
Yeah, but it was very Schitt's Creekian of the show to like win all the awards after we were done.
It's so good. I mean, everyone on the show was so good. My favorite was Moira. I even dressed up for her for Halloween one year.
There you are.
Oh, there I am.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She goes, oh, wow.
Yeah. That was like a scary, like, wow.
Yeah,
it wasn't good.
Like
She
a
said,
witch
wow.
Moira.
Yeah, a little bit of a fangirl. Okay, but what was it like working with Catherine O'Hara, the whole Levy family? Did you guys improvise constantly? How was that?
It's funny, people think that we improvise a lot because it's, you know, Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy, but there really wasn't a lot of improvisation at all on the show. It was so well written. But also, like, working with a literal family, like Dan, Eugene, and Sarah Levy, who plays Twyla in the show, are all a real family, and you would think there would be awkward times in that, but it was actually so lovely. It was like, well, it was like my chosen family. So I miss them.
Oh, that's so nice. Now, I really want to get into this because I'm super into it. It's your new project, Amelia Earwood, Basic Witch. And we heard this was inspired by the Kardashians. I'm already laughing. How did they influence this story?
Well, I mean, I was watching the Kardashians, as one does.
As one does.
And I was like, this is a real family. Like, those are real sisters. And I thought, like, what if I just happened to have been born into this family? I would be the worst Kardashian ever. I would be like stuck in the waist trainer. I'd be kicked off the show. And so that's kind of where Amelia came from. She is the black sheep witch of her famous, very famous witch family.
This is hilarious.
And they have a reality show, and she gets kicked off because her magic is just not on brand. It's bad. I mean, she's a basic witch, but really, like, she's bad at magic.
That's so good.
Not stuck in a waist trainer. That is like my worst nightmare. You said that writing this character, Amelia, was a process of self-discovery. So what were some of the things you discovered about yourself as you made this?
I mean, it felt like I got the opportunity to go back and tell my younger self, like, everything you think is wrong with you and that's your problem and that you have to fix, like, that's your magic. That's your superpower. And it's just this, ultimately this story of Amelia finding her own magic within her. And I realized that every story I ever have to tell is always ultimately the Wizard of Oz. It's, you always had it in you. You just needed to find it for yourself. Same story as Stevie. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, now I gotta ask you this before we go, and you have to understand the answer to your question. It might cause a riot in the streets, depending on how you answer. So there's a lot of pressure here. Do you think we're ever going to see a Schitt's Creek movie?
Come on, Emily.
Oh, I was going to say something real bad. I was going to say something real just because you were talking about guns before. And I'm Canadian, and we have gun control. But anyways, that's probably when you'll see a Schitt's Creek movie. If you do that, you'll see it right away. I can't imagine us not doing something else together. I'm not saying we are, but we like each other too much to not.
Oh.
Okay,
I'll
that
take
gives
that
me
as
some hope.
That's a yes.
Emily, we are so lucky that we got to meet you. We adore you. This has been amazing. DBL Nation, do not forget to check out Emily's book, Amelia Earwood, Basic Witch, available now. Thank you so much, Emily. Congratulations. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anheuser-Busch CEO Brendan Whitworth was the target of anti-trans backlash online over the company's recent Bud Light partnership with social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Mulvaney, who is transgender, posted a video on April 1st announcing her partnership with Bud Light, which is owned by Anheuser-Busch. 2 weeks later, Whitworth said in a statement, the company never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. That same day, screenshots of Whitworth's LinkedIn profile went viral, pointing to a section that claims he worked for the Central Intelligence Agency. But is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are Brendan Whitworth's LinkedIn profile, Anheuser-Busch, and a Fox Business profile on Whitworth. It's true. Anheuser-Busch CEO Brendan Whitworth did work for the CIA. According to his LinkedIn profile, Whitworth worked for the agency as an operations officer from 2001 to 2006. People also claimed that his LinkedIn account was deleted after his CIA connections were revealed. But as of April 18th, the page is still active. Anheuser-Busch's website also references Whitworth's time working at the CIA, and Whitworth mentioned it in an interview with Fox Business in 2022. So we can verify, yes, Whitworth did work for the CIA, but he left the agency in 2006. With your Verify, I'm Adiante Till. Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Over the course of the next month, you may be seeing ads and posts urging you to get your COVID-related treatments like vaccines and at-home tests before they're harder to get. So will access to tests, vaccines, and treatment change after the COVID-19 public health emergency ends on May 11th? We checked with these sources to verify. Let's start with COVID tests. Once the public health emergency ends, access to free at-home tests will end for people with traditional Medicare. Medicare will still pay for tests administered by a doctor, like PCR lab tests, but there could be a cost for the doctor's visit itself. Private insurance and Medicare Advantage will also no longer be required to provide any free testing, be it at home or with the doctor, though some might continue to do so. As for vaccines and antiviral drugs like Paxlovid, access going forward isn't tied to the public health emergency. Instead, it's all about supply. The federal government has a stockpile of vaccines and antivirals. Those federal resources are free to anyone, regardless of insurance status. But numbers are limited, and ongoing access relies on federal funding that Congress hasn't provided.
The main issue will be for people without health insurance.
So for vaccines and antivirals, access will continue in the near term, but unless the government makes new policy, costs might increase once federal supplies run out. So we can verify that yes, access to COVID tests, vaccines, and treatment will change in the near future, but not just because of the public health emergency ending. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. Summer is right around the corner, and that means you might be spending more time entertaining outside, and there are some things you can do to really spice up your outdoor lifestyle. Here's how to safely enjoy life outside with Sunsetter. One of the main things to think about is a nice rug. It could really tie everything together. Also, shop around and spend a little more time to really find the perfect outdoor furniture. And this one's my favorite. A nice drink dispenser can be a great addition to cool off in the summertime, along with the Sunsetter awning. With affordable custom features, with we're all about the water, sorry. With custom pricing, Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning. Spend more time outside and get the best value with Sunsetter. It's been an industry leader for 30 years. Call 800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings built to last.
Drink dispenser.
Dude, if I go to a party and they have a drink dispenser with fruit in it, I'm like, you're the coolest person ever. I'm not leaving.
Or a hotel that's got a nice lobby water.
If I had it and Al just came over and just went, that'd be enough for me. I'll see you tomorrow.